Hi, Cappy. I hope you guys are doing well. So we're going to take a look at your next 72 hours-ish. Keep in mind that free will always trumps everything. Obviously, the only constant is change. So you or someone else who's involved in anything that comes up here could always change their mind, and then things can shift, or you can shift them if you don't like what you see here. That's kind of the point of tarot, is not really to predict, to tell you what's going to happen, but to kind of tell you what the trajectory is based on where you're currently at. And then with that insight and information, you can choose what to do with it in an empowered way. So that's what we're gonna do. We're gonna use tarot, Lenormand, and some oracle decks to do that. And before I get started though, I will let you know that we have a members area now, and it is awesome over there. The people who are already there are amazing. There's just one tier and they get an extra reading every week. So if you're interested in that, you can just press the join button at the top of my YouTube page to get more info. There's also a link in the info box down below, I think. So yeah, let's get into this, Capricorn. So I also channeled a stone, or picked a stone that was standing out to me for each sign for this particular series of readings. And the one that was standing out to me for you is red aventurine. So aventurine is usually like a dark green color. This is red. I don't know how well you can tell with the current lighting. But red aventurine, it helps to stimulate and dispel like lethargic energy and low enthusiasm. It increases your universal life force in general and helps you regulate it. It can stimulate individuality, personal power, and leadership. And also, if you pair this particular stone with labradorite, the two work together really well to sustain creativity and to boost a process that you might be involved in. So let's say if you are doing some shadow work, or you're trying to heal and ground information that's coming through to you or integrate, you could use this with labradorite to help you think of more creative ways to do that, and then boost the process, as well as give you the energy, the life force, the personal power to kind of guide yourself through that. And that's just kind of an example, right? So if you want to look up more things that red aventurine is good for, then by all means do that, because there's many things that each stone can be used for. But those are just a couple that stand out with this stone for me. So yeah, you might want to pick up a piece of that. Maybe that will relate to the reading in some sort of way as well. We will see. All right, so let's give your tarot deck a shuffle here. A good shuffle. So tune me into the next 72 hours for Capricorn. What would it benefit Capricorn to be aware of? And we are basically just going to take a look at the energetic theme and the energy that you will mostly be embodying, or how you're experiencing what's happening around you. We'll see if there's a major event or experience that wants to be highlighted within that time, if there will be an influence on your energy that is important to look at, and also some advice. Okay, let's get into it. So tell me about the next 72 hours for Capricorn. Okay. Okay. Wow. Wow. Okay, do you want me to keep those some shit going on here. Let's see about this. World in reverse, the Queen of Cups in reverse, the Hermit, and the World in reverse. Wow, okay. That's a lot. That says a lot. Okay, let's see here. Okay. Have enough room here. All right. Let's get into this and see what's going on for you, Caps. So here's the main theme is the 10 of Wands, and then your energy is coming through as the 4 of Pentacles. Okay. So right off the bat, I'm seeing it's pretty clear here, one of the messages. So the 10 of Wands talks about an energetic breaking point. It talks about something that is feeling more and more pressurized, more and more heavy, more and more like not sustainable basically as time is going on. And it's because there needs to be some sort of release. It's because you're either trying to do too much, maybe. Capricorns never carry the weight of the world on your shoulders thinking you have to do it all alone, or just you're taking on too many responsibilities perhaps. So this is like the energy around you, the theme. It could be that okay, we'll talk about your energy first so you understand what I'm going to say next. So with the 4 of Pentacles talks about holding on for dear life to what you have. It can also talk about building a foundation that's solid, but this card specifically, I'm getting like you're hoarding or holding on to. It's like you're scared to shift something. It's coming through as a rigid kind of energy. So you could be putting work into something, but you're doing it the way that you've always done it. And maybe there needs to be a shift because what you have been doing isn't working. And so it's just kind of adding a lot of tension. Like this one particular approach is adding a lot of tension to things, but it feels like you are afraid to, it's almost coming through as like you're afraid to be thrown off balance, but you're not really seeing that the whole process that you're clinging to is what is exhausting you and throwing you off balance. So there could be something that's coming in as an agent of change, but it feels scary to shift the old way. And I feel like that might just be because you're not seeing how much this particular old way has been stifling you, limiting you, exhausting you, draining your energy, not inspiring, and definitely an energy of contraction where you're not really able to receive. And I see that mirrored, like the effects of that mirrored in the entire reading. So this might not be for every Capricorn. If it's not, that's totally fine. It's a general reading on YouTube. It won't be for everyone. But you can feel free to check your other placements that resonate with you and or hit the next one up or whatever. But this reading is for a Capricorn who has been going through a phase of it's things that felt heavy, pressurized, exhausting, like it's one thing after the next. You just can't hit a break. And then you're kind of like, if I just hold on for dear life here, maybe things will just pass. Maybe I'll weather this storm. But the storm is actually meant to be a bit of a tower moment is what the cards are showing me, because something does need to shift. Something about the way that you're approaching the energies around you and your physical day-to-day life, like where you put your time, effort, and energy, right? With the pentacles here is it's just not being used in a healthy way. It's not being like your energy is not being utilized in a healthy way. It's not being, it's not flowing in a naturally giving and receiving way between the things that you're invested in or the people that you're invested in. And yeah, you have this King of Pentacles in reverse influence on you. For some of you, this is a father figure. It doesn't have to be. We'll get there. But let's clarify and get a little bit more. So let's clarify this 10 of Wands with the Lenormand and just see what area of your life that, if that might be specific in one area of your life, or is it kind of overall the vibe that this is kind of how you're approaching things. Life is just kind of feeling heavy and you are sort of just trying to find some stability. Hi, Luna. Tell me about this 10 of Wands. The Tower. the lilies at the bottom. Okay. It's interesting. The fox is oh. This is so telling. Okay. It's definitely the approach. It's not what you're working on. It's how you're coming at it that is not working for you. But I don't think that you're seeing that. It's like you're seeing everything outside of you and your approach as the problem. You might be projecting that even onto people around you or situations, like stop distracting me or stop like throwing me off balance. But it's like you are throwing yourself off balance. People might be being put in your life or situations that do disrupt you and frustrate you. And it's supposed to do that so that you see that this is just not working and then you make a shift, right? But I feel like that's not happening for a lot of you. I feel like you're projecting outwards here. All right, so the Tower is a card of institutions and structures, especially ones that have expansive networks of people included. So like the government, military, the justice system, hospitals, schools, whatever. It's the firm foundations that your life is built on, basically. But it can also just represent authority, ambition. It also can talk to arrogance, the ego, and how certain structures can become dogmatic if we allow the rules and guidance that they offer to essentially like override our own autonomy, our own free will, our own agency, and then they sort of start to control and limit us. So that is very much what this feels like. It feels like there was, or there is, some sort of either authority, maybe, or just a system in your life that you are adhering to. That could even be like the way that your family taught you have to show up and work, or like to have abundance, or how to be like a parent or a spouse, right? Like what that needs to look like the dad needs to show up this way or whatever. It could have been very patriarchal, or again, just there's some sort of structure or institution that has been, maybe it was helpful at one point, or maybe it never fit for you. But at one point, I feel like it became very isolating and limiting. There's loneliness that I'm feeling here because it's kind of this feeling of being separated off and oppressed, but not understanding where that's quite coming from, and then feeling misunderstood by others. Maybe even others who see this more clearly than you, but then it's like because you see it this way, you feel misunderstood by those people, if that makes sense. But what this is making heavy and limiting, what is actually bringing you at this time to this breaking point with the 10 of Wands, is so interesting. It's this Lilies card, and this card talks about peace and maturity, personal satisfaction, contentment, essentially the opposite of the Tower. It's like extended periods of freedom and tranquility. And it can also talk about all things associated with sex, pleasure, material, and body comforts. It could also talk about virtues, purity, and morality, though. So the Lilies, it's interesting because it kind of covers those two main areas that may or may not be totally connected. The feminine paradox between passionate sensuality and gentle innocence, and then sort of all like the arc of sensuality or sexuality within that. But then it can also talk again like about ethics, wisdom, morality, virtues, what brings you peace and harmony and serenity and support in your life, and how you kind of build that as you mature, or you become more aware of that as you mature. But the interesting thing is at the bottom of the deck here, I feel like this is all internal process here that is meant to be highlighted. This is like the complicating of this. So the Fox talks about needing to come at something with a strategy, an intelligent strategy. So I feel like you are faced with something now, a situation that is actually very positive, and it could offer you a lot of personal satisfaction, contentment, peace. Essentially, it brings in this kind of playful but also passionate energy. that's very fulfilling on many different levels. And I feel like it also does match very well with your own personal belief system and morals. Maybe not with this person's morals and personal belief system, maybe not with that of this structure or institution, but with your personal one when you actually think about what that is. But then we have the scythe, the mice, and the clouds. This talks about danger. This talks about loss or something that deteriorates or takes from you. And then the clouds talk about insecurity or uncertainty, hesitation caused by not having clarity, right? So it's like there's a part of you that is suspicious of something that feels good and could be easier than what you have been experiencing, but it kind of flies in the face of what you are doing now and how you're approaching things. So it's like it feels kind of like you're isolating yourself off from this opportunity or this influence that is quite positive for you because it feels so different from what you're used to. Even though what you're used to feels very heavy and isolating, I'm almost getting that you are like pulling inward and pushing maybe this energy away while trying to just maintain the status quo that is crushing you. But yeah, it's telling me that because you don't really trust this, you're trying to take a strategic approach because you're afraid that it is dangerous. You're afraid it's not real or it's a trap. It's just going to take from you. It's going to cause you all this confusion. But really what this is trying to bring in is joy and passion, clarity, joy, ease, abundance, and passion that actually fits with you. So that is what I'm seeing for like in terms of why things are actually feeling so heavy right now, because something does really want to shift and evolve here. And it feels like for whatever reason, that exact thing, there's a huge amount of resistance to that. So let's see some more about this Four of Pentacles. Where is that resistance truly coming from? Tell me more about Capricorn's energy here with the Four of Pentacles. Because it feels like you're just kind of hunkering down. You're like, nope, we're just going to hide away. We're going to take some time. We're going to isolate. We're going to maybe like level things back out. But I feel like things are not meant to be leveled out right now. Or maybe they are, but from a completely different perspective or approach than what you're coming at. So, okay, more about this Four of Pentacles. The Two of Cups in reverse. Yeah, see, what you're holding on to is division. It's isolation. It's causing some sort of division between you and another person, though, as well. Let's see. This is also causing a lack of integration with you and yourself. You're not seeing, thinking, or feeling clearly in regards to whatever this is. And it's probably because of the energetic tension and weight. You probably are exhausted. And it's coming through as though there's not just, like it's an energetic buildup. So that would be, you might be feeling overwhelmed or exhausted mentally, emotionally, physically, or spiritually, any of the above. I do see though that there's an element of emotional, like deep emotional dissatisfaction and something again that would be very, like would be good for you or would be aligned with you that is being shut off. Yeah, look at this. The King of Cups in reverse and the Eight of Cups. It's like you're seeing that thing, but then you're choosing to not open up to it, not believe in it, not treat it maybe with emotional maturity or just no emotional openness maybe, but instead you are tempted to walk away. I feel like this is because of personal insecurity though. Well, I can see that it's because of something personal, not because of the actual, if this is a connection, then it's not coming from the connection, it's coming from this approach and these other structures and influences in your life. Anything else about that Four of Pentacles in reverse? It feels like you're holding on to this thing that is hurting and crushing you and keeping you stuck. You're giving all your energy to continue to work on this, but it's not going to bring you to a place of personal security and stability. So it's like pouring a lot of work and effort into something that's not taking you anywhere, but is just causing you to contract more and more, to be more and more exhausted, to reach this breaking point. And for that, you are rejecting something that would actually bring you, would actually bring you into the energy that you're seeking, it feels like. But because it's not what you're expecting or what you expect the key to your abundance and success to look like, because it feels like it's coming in like it's something that will soften your heart up or connect you back to your emotional self, essentially to an energy of receiving instead of contracting, where you're not defensive and exhausted, you're open, and that's when you'll actually be able to start receiving good things. So yeah, it feels like something's meant to kind of open your heart or have you reconnect with the energy of being able to receive again. And that looks like what the lesson is here. Okay. So I think that we've talked enough about that because no more cards are coming out there. So let's move on to an important event or experience that could be taking place during the next couple days, which is coming through as the Five of Pentacles. I actually like this because it's showing me that you're moving from the 4 into the 5, which means that this breaking point is taking place. I don't want you to be afraid of that, okay? Don't let that scare you. Staying in this is far more scary than having that break and then actually being able to move forwards, right? Because this is a shitty place to be like stuck under the thumb of something that just feels so heavy and oppressive, and then you're keep pouring into trying to move forwards out of it and it just keeps you there. Like that is like not the best, right? So we're moving from the 4 of Pentacles to the 5 of Pentacles because some sort of event or experience is going to take place that I feel like doesn't allow you to cling to the status quo or your comfort zone. So let's see what that might be. Can you tell me about this? Can you tell me more about this 5 of Pentacles? What is this? The 5 of Pentacles can talk about a lot of things. It talks about sometimes facing sickness or physical loss. So loss of financial stability or security, feeling out in the cold, or it could also just be like you are, exactly. There's also this at the bottom of the deck, which is there. Okay. So yes, this is coming through as clear, very, very clear. There's fear surrounding switching up the way you do things. And it's because you're aware that you can't really like half-ass it. You can't like half keep doing things this way, but then still let this in or let this in, which is what's offering you this, right? But this is holding you in that. So this is being sacrificed for this. So there's an awareness that if you are going to make this change, you can't just like half-ass it. You cannot say that you're doing it, but then be back and forth. You can't really have that energy of hesitancy. You kind of have to be all or nothing. And if you're going to do it, then you're meant to kind of go all in. This breaking point might be something that causes you to truly face the fears and the insecurities that would stand between you releasing this old way of things that isn't working. This says, my fears and insecurities offer me opportunities for growth. Behind them live my peace, liberation, and freedom, which is what all of that talks about. So what this really is going to be an opportunity for growth, but it is going to cause you to have to look at your fears and insecurities around doing something different. I think you're going to basically realize that something needs to change because there's not room for everything you're trying to make space for in your life. So it might be causing you to, look at what your priorities are, for instance. Because you're like, something's got to shift here. Something's got to go if I want to, let's say, make space for something that makes me happy, right? Then you might start by saying, okay, well, what do I do on a daily basis that doesn't really make me happy, that I could maybe cut out? But it feels like once you start approaching that and looking at that, you really see a lot more clearly like how much this approach or this structure has taken from you, how long it's kept you exhausted and small and not in your power, not in dominion over your own life, not in a state of abundance and receptivity. So even though you're trying really hard to build things in the physical realm, you might feel like a failure because you're just consistently falling short. And again, it's not because you're not capable. It's because the approach that you're taking is actually blocking exactly what you're trying to bring in. That's what I'm seeing. So there is a powerful situation that's going to be taking place here, and it's going to give you the opportunity to recognize what this is truly taking from you. Like, what is the actual cost of doing things this way? It might make you realize that you're going to lose this if you keep on doing this. Maybe you will lose this, and then that will make you realize, I'm not really sure. I think it will be different for each of you, but is there anything else about that Five of Pentacles you want me to highlight? For some of you, it's just like it's stealing your peace of mind. It's fucking with your mental health. You're exhausted. You are feeling bad about yourself because you're not getting the things that you're working towards. Like, you're not going anywhere. You feel like, even though you keep on taking those steps or being very committed. Tell me about this Five of Pentacles. The Two of Swords. Yeah, you have a choice to make. You have a choice to make. And it's between your fears and your insecurities continuing to be dominated by them, or choosing this opportunity for growth, which will require you to make some shifts. That might feel very uncomfortable at the beginning because of how well established it feels like this is. But this is really what it's showing me here. Wow. Is that this is a chance for you to use your discernment. The Queen of Swords, it's saying you've had enough life experience now that you know what is truly best for you. So there is an active decision that needs to be made with the Two of Wands and the Two of Swords here, right? Both mentally and energetically, what direction am I going to put myself towards? And they're asking you to look at which direction is going to lead you into the energy of the King of Wands. Is going to make you feel like a leader in your own life, empowered in dominion, connected to your will, passionate, convicted. You know, when the King of Wands has a full day of work or whatever, they end the day falling into bed like exhausted, but feeling so like they accomplished so much, you know, and they feel like a damn boss. So is this making you feel that way? Because I feel like there's no trace of that energy here. And I don't know how this would make you feel. Maybe this isn't the solution either, but I think that it's not this, you know, regardless. So it's saying here that the Tower in reverse, the Ten of Pentacles in reverse, which is what you're going after, I feel, the Ace of Pentacles, the Hierophant, yeah, Five of Wands in reverse, and the Devil. Wow. Okay. So there's something that it hasn't hit you. The reason why this Ten of Pentacles is eluding you has not hit you. It's like it's right there. The tower's trying to fall, right? But you are not seeing it. And I think it's because you're so constricted and closed off, defensive, and just kind of like, again, like, let's just keep showing up. This is the way it has to be. I'll succeed if I keep doing it this way. But really, there's a new opportunity that is meant to be committed to here. You might have some, like, in your head, the devil energy for you might be like, I can't commit to a new opportunity unless it has absolutely no, like, unless it doesn't shake things up for me. If it involves tension, change, and, you know, needing to grow, or needing to face like instability temporarily to eventually liberate myself and then put myself in a very abundant situation. You might be avoiding that, but they're saying like there's a new opportunity around you that wants to be committed to. It feels incredibly abundant. It feels like it could actually change your whole life. And it's connected, like the Ace of Pentacles will take you all the way to the 10 with this opportunity. But you're stuck here. And I feel like you are either rejecting the opportunity or you're just not seeing it at all maybe, or just not seeing it for what it is. In other words, maybe putting it on the back burner to pour the bulk of your attention and energy into this thing, which is the actual problem. For some of you, this is more of an emotional opportunity. So whether that is a relationship or it's just something that feels very emotionally fulfilling to you, like, I don't know, a creative project or just something that connects you with your heart. It helps heal grief within you as well, which is also playing into this in some way. Okay. Let's take a look at this, this influence being the King of Pentacles in reverse. Can you tell me more about that influence on Capricorn there, please? Who is this King of Pentacles in reverse? There's confusion around this. Wow. Wow. Oh my. Okay. Whatever this influence is, it is so confusing. Like it puts you in this very diluted, kind of confused energy where you don't really trust yourself. It's almost like someone telling you the way that you have to do things and what will be successful, but then you're left with confusion because it doesn't feel good. It doesn't feel like it's actually taking you anywhere. It feels like it's draining you. It doesn't feel like it's the right approach or path for you. But it's almost like there's an authority figure here maybe that keeps on telling you that this is the way, or that you have to do it that way. There's something so much lighter, but you're hiding it under the moon, which means you're either not acknowledging it yourself yet, so it's just building up and it's going to break soon. I feel like this will come to your awareness soon though, if it hasn't, or else you're hiding it so that other people don't see it, but you are aware of this truth. The truth is the 3 of Cups, the 9 of Swords in reverse, the 6 of Cups, the Star, and the Emperor in reverse. I feel like this is you. There's something from the past that you want to reconcile with without anxiety. You want to just trust it. You want to give to it. You want to celebrate with it. You want to let it make you feel good because it naturally does feel good. This is something that you either feel you have a very deep soul connection with, something that just gets you kind of, or makes you feel very at home, or else you have a past with whatever this is. But it's been very healing, historically speaking, for you. And that is not synonymous with it's been easy all the time, but it has been healing. It may have actually forced you to look at certain fears and insecurities. And that might have been, again, painful or heavy for a little bit. But then I feel like it did ultimately bring you growth and peace and more of a sense of freedom and independence. So this is where you were in the past. It's showing me the Emperor in reverse. And whatever this healing element is, putting work and effort into it. Yeah, see, there's the Sun and the Page of Wands. It's like it reconnects you with your inner child, your passion, but like sacred desire. It's not the kind of desire that you can abuse or be consumed by. It's pure, childlike wonder, play, desire, lightness, happiness, just illumination, abundance. This is an energy of gratitude and expansion that draws so much to you. And it doesn't feel heavy. It doesn't feel painful in any way. Okay, so whatever this is here, it doesn't allow you to actually change and evolve, but there is some sort of change agent in your life that does kind of have the opposite effect of whatever this influence is. And I feel like you manifested that opportunity. Yeah. But you're not really building with it or taking advantage of it for some reason. It's almost like now that it's here, it seems like too scary to change, or there's pressure and influence around you that would maybe really not want you to make that change. So it's kind of coming down to like, are you going to be in control of your own life and live your own life? Or are you just going to do what someone else around you is telling you, or what this institution makes you feel like you have to function in that way, basically. All right, let's take a look at some advice here to close things off. So we have the Queen of Cups in reverse, the Hermit, and the World in reverse. First major arcana card. So this is Virgo energy. The World talks about, well, it's Saturnian energy, but it's also the fixed energies. So Scorpio, Taurus, Leo, and Aquarius. There's a cycle that is karmic. It feels like a lesson, a Saturnian lesson maybe. It could have to do with the father, because that's connected to Saturn, or just mature masculine energy. You could be going through a maturing of your own masculine energy, but this is not done yet. And it's preventing you from being in an energy of giving and receiving love, and also giving and receiving it's disconnecting you from your own intuition, or it's not really allowing you to see clearly. It's also blocking you again from feeling and truly giving or opening yourself up to love. It could be blocking you from a very abundant and sort of a connection that's meant to bring you a lot of peace and reflect you back at yourself in a way that feels very fulfilling and satisfying. But I feel that there is this need to go within and to really look at your experience so far and be very honest with yourself about it. What has brought you home to yourself and what continues to pull you away from yourself, and then close out that cycle. Can you tell me more about this Queen of Cups in reverse here? Is this Capricorn primarily? Okay, not that card. Yeah, it is the Empress. See, this is the energy of expansion and abundance and receptivity, the feminine principle of yin. So there's something in your life that is trying to pull you more towards this energy, which would be extremely abundant for you. I feel like this is all like heavy masculine energy, which is essentially like, I'm just going to do it this way. I'm going to keep pushing. Even if I come up against restriction, I'm not going to use my emotional or intuitive understanding. I'm just going to keep on trying to push with assertion and aggression until eventually like I break, right? But really what's wanting to be tapped into is more this energy, which is more the heart, the emotion, receptivity, being open, and just naturally in a state of gratitude and abundance for that reason. But right now this is quite blocked, or you are quite blocked off to it. So this could also represent another person in your life, or this could just be what this wounded energy wants to shift into in a healthy embodiment or state. I feel like this is where all your time and energy is being asked to be put right now, because this is going to eliminate all of the conflict and the tension within your mind and your spirit that is causing you to stay stuck here. So I'm going to grab an oracle card here to give you a final piece of advice, just to add here to this. Okay. Anything else for Capricorn's advice for the next couple days? Yeah, it's looking like just something, and this is very you, right? Like this seems like a very Capricornian read, honestly. And I have a Capricorn stellium and Mars in my Western chart. So I totally understand. Like sometimes you just put your head down. You're like, I'm in my lane. I'm going to grind until I get there. And there's no lack of like motivation, drive, energy, you know, just that assertion. Like you're not afraid of a challenge. No, not at all. You're not afraid of hard work. You're like, let's just do it. But it's almost like you're so in this process that you're not pausing to be like, okay, this is not actually working for me. This is actually putting me back. It's not making me feel fulfilled. It's not making me feel liberated. It's making me feel stifled, contracted, isolated, separated from beautiful, abundant energies that I do want to be a little more invested in. And then there's the Saturnian energy, Saturn being your ruler, that is kind of trying to teach you a lesson, but it is a difficult lesson, right? It's something you have to learn through difficult experience, kind of like tough love. So that's why I feel like it's important for you to take a moment of reflection here, not just to reflect on the structures in your life, but also to reflect on like what you have been sacrificing for those structures, where you're lacking in your life, maybe in connection, in peace, in harmony, in play, in receptivity and abundance, in emotional fulfillment, maybe in feminine energy, that sort of thing. So don't be afraid to look at all of that and include that in how you assess your experience here and what is adding to your life in a beneficial way and what's not. Okay, final card for Capricorn here for advice. All right. It says, Akasha, your guidance is divinely guided. And at the bottom of the deck is leap. You go first, the universe will catch you. You are definitely being guided, my friends. Right now, you're being guided, even if things feel heavy, even if it feels like you're reaching a bit of a crisis point or something is breaking, everything is unfolding exactly as it is meant to. And I know sometimes that's difficult to hear, right? Because it's like, I'm fucking struggling, and Spirit's just like, this is how it's supposed to be. Hey, YOLO. You know, it's like, fuck my life. But something beautiful is coming from this. And this breaking, this feeling of loss and lack is only here to serve as a spotlight to highlight the things that are missing so that you can grow, you can take this opportunity, you can shift things up, shake things up, change your approach, and then bring peace, liberation, and freedom into your life. But you're very, very, very backed, incredibly backed by Spirit here. Very supported. They want you to take this leap. They want you to know that everything that's happening is divinely guided. All of this is divine guidance from your higher self, your guides, and the universe, just trying to show you what works and what doesn't. There's a huge transformation taking place, very deep healing, and I feel like you're breaking some sort of chain, maybe an ancestral or familial pattern, maybe a past life thing, but there's something really deep healing here, and it's happening so that you can rewrite your future, because the direction that this structure is taking you in is just it's not fulfilling and it's not working for you, is what that feels like. So hi, loons. Okay, so I'm gonna go play with my needy ass cat. She's just meowing in my face, as you can hear. But that's what I see for you for the next couple days, Cappy. So this is actually a beautiful opportunity, it looks like, for a huge breakthrough and maybe like a life-altering change that is ultimately going to take you to potentially an extremely beautiful place. Like I said before, the lilies, well, the Two of Cups talks about being seen and understood in a very fulfilling kind of way on like a soul level and a heart level. Feeling like you are home, feeling like you belong, feeling like something is family or a very good friend. And then the Empress is this beautiful, loving, and abundant energy. The Hermit is the energy of seeing yourself more clearly, knowing your experiences, and having faith in yourself, surrounding what you are deciding to go all in on, because you see clearly like what certain things bring you versus what other things bring you, right? And the lilies is then just like, once you make that shift, you're entering into a phase of prolonged peace, abundance, joy, like ease, and basically just being able to enjoy life in a way that I don't think that you've been able to so far. So this is something that's coming to liberate, to set you free, but you kind of have to consider this opportunity as like the keys to the cage. Take the opportunity, and that's what opens the door of the cage, and you can stop rattling the bars and just let yourself out and live this life that I feel like you long for. So that's what I see for you. I love you so much, Capricorn. I hope that you're doing well wherever you are. I will talk to you again very soon, my loves. And until then, take good care of yourselves, okay? Until next time, bye.